Good morning, class 8th. Welcome to your journal knowledge class. So, today we are going to start with lesson number 29, and the name of the lesson is Fate of the 1857 Revolutionaries. Let us quickly see the objectives. Introduction of Revolt of 1857. Then we will study about the leaders of the revolt like Mangal Pandey, Bahadur Shah Zafar, Begum Hazrat Mahal, Nana Sahib, Tantia Tope, and Rani Lakshmibai. Terms that we will learn in today's class are revolutionaries, a person who starts or supports action to try to change the government of a country, especially by using violent methods. Number 2, revolt, to protest in a group, often violently, against the person or people in power. Number 3, sepoy, an Indian soldier serving under British or other European orders. Next, infantry, soldiers that fight on foot. Regiment, a group of soldiers in the army who are commanded by a particular officer. Exiled, expulsion from one's native land. Battlefield, the place where a battle is fought. The Indian Rebellion of 1857 was a major but ultimately unsuccessful uprising in India in 1857 against the rule of the British East India Company, which functioned as a sovereign power on behalf of the British Crown. There are various names for the revolt of 1857, like India's First War of Independence, Sepoy Mutiny, etc. It was initiated by sepoys in the Bengal Presidency against the British officers. This War of Independence marked the end of the rule by the British East India Company. Children, in this video, we will study about the famous revolutionaries of the revolt of 1857. Mangal Pandey. He was an Indian soldier who played a key part in the events immediately preceding the outbreak of the Indian Rebellion of 1857. He was a sepoy in the 34th Bengal Native Infantry Regiment of the British East India Company. He attacked on British officer on March 29, 1857, and it was the first major incident of what came to be known as the Indian or Sepoy Mutiny. Now let us do the reading from the introduction of the chapter. The British rule had ruined India's trade and industry. It made our rich country poor. Indians in many parts of India revolted against the British rule. However, the revolt against the British rule actually started in the year 1857. Number 1. Mangal Pandey. He was a sepoy in the 34th Bengal Native Infantry Regiment of the English East India Company. He was sentenced to death in 1857. Bahadur Shah Zafar was the last Mughal emperor. On 9th March 1858, the emperor was found guilty of all charges by the British court. The British sent him along with some of his family to exile in Yangon, Burma. Now let us read the line from the book. He was the last Mughal emperor. He was arrested and exiled to Rangoon, where he died in 1862. Exiled means expulsion from one's native land. And his name is Bahadur Shah Zafar. Number 3. Begum Hazrat Mahal. Begum Hazrat Mahal, also called as Begum of Awadh, was the second wife of Nawab Wajid Ali Shah. She rebelled against the British East India Company during the Indian Rebellion of 1857. Begum Hazrat Mahal led the revolt of 1857 in Lucknow. Lucknow became the point of revolt for more than 8 months. Sepoys, peasants, talukdars and chiefs supported Begum Hazrat Mahal in the revolt. Maulvi, Ahmadullah and Begum Hazrat Mahal inspired the sepoys. She was a pathfinder and a woman of substance who believed in living with pride and self-respect rather than being a slave of British. Let us read from the book and guess the name. She led the revolt at Lucknow. She was compelled to hide in Nepal after the invasion of Lucknow by Lord Campbell. Her name is Begum Hazrat Mahal. At Kanpur, the revolt was led by Nana Sahib, the discontented son of Peshwa Bajirao II. He proclaimed himself Peshwa and ousted the British. Children, Tantia Tope and Azimullah supported him. All the soldiers of Nana Sahib were led by them. However, the British captured Kanpur again in December 1857. Azimullah and Tantia Tope were later captured and executed. Nana Sahib fled to Nepal. Children, now let us guess the name of the revolutionary from the reading. He was the adopted son of Bajirao II. After being defeated, he refused to surrender and escaped to Nepal in early 1859, never to be heard again. Nana Sahib. Tantia Tope, also spelled Tatya Tope. Original name was Ramachandra Panduranga, a leader of the Indian Mutiny of 1857 till 58. Although he had no formal military training, he was probably the best and most effective of the rebels' journal. Tantia Tope revolted against British after Nana Sahib was deprived of his father's pension by then Governor-General Lord Dalhousie. He had established Nana Sahib's authority in Kanpur and became the commander-in-chief of his revolutionary forces. But he was executed by the British at Shivpuri on April 1859 after he was betrayed by his trusted friend Man Singh, the chief of Narwad. Reading from the book. He was the most loyal journal of Nana Sahib. He was betrayed by a landlord of Gwalior and handed over to the Britishers. He was sentenced to death in 1859. We are talking about Tantia Tope. खूब लड़ी मर्दानी वो तो झांसी वाली रानी थी. One of the greatest leaders of this revolt was Rani Lakshmibai of Chansi. The British annexed her territory using the doctrine of lapse. After a long struggle, the British forces captured the fort and the city. Around 5,000 people were killed in the battle. Lakshmibai, along with the rebels, escaped to Kalpi, which is in UP, that is Uttar Pradesh, to join Tantia Tope. On 17 June 1858, Lakshmibai died fighting the British forces. Children, can you guess the name of this famous film personality from Bollywood who has recently played a role of Rani Lakshmibai in the movie? Now let us read the lines from the book. She was one of the bravest leaders of the Indian Rebellion of 1857. She lost her life in the battlefield on June 17, 1858, fighting bravely against the Britishers. Rani Lakshmibai. The lesson is very interesting, children. Now try to give the answer of these cross questions. Who was the last Mughal emperor of India? Number 2. When did Mangal Pandey sentenced to death? Number 3. Who led the revolt at Lucknow? Number 4. Name some revolutionaries of the revolt of 1857. And the last question. Who was the most loyal journal of Nana Sahib? This is it, children. Read the lesson carefully again, solve the back exercises of the lesson and learn them properly. Till then, take care, stay safe, stay healthy and follow the school link for more of these YouTube videos. Thank you so much.